The Dutch national team just sent a terrifying warning to every single country at the World Cup, and nobody is ready for what is about to happen.
Possibilities here for the Dutch. Look at the orange flooding the box, and Brobbey is there! A goal that shifts the balance of power in Group F.
After years of underachievement and heartbreak, this modern generation of orange-clad ballers is playing a brand of football that is absolutely not normal. They did not just beat Sweden in their second group stage game, they completely dismantled them in a historic 5-1 demolition. It was a performance so dominant and physically overwhelming that it felt like schoolyard bullies taking lunch money from helpless kids. But before this masterpiece unfolded, the entire football world was asking the exact same questions about the Netherlands. Where on earth are the goals going to come from? And can Ronald Koeman actually coach this team to glory? The opening match of the tournament against a disciplined Japan side had left fans in absolute despair. A frustrating 2-2 draw felt like two massive points dropped rather than a hard-earned draw, and the knives were already out for the manager. That opening game against Japan was supposed to be a comfortable statement win, but it quickly turned into a tactical nightmare. While the Netherlands dominated possession, they looked completely toothless in the final third, leaving fans wondering if they even had a plan. The breakthrough finally came from their veteran captain, Virgil van Dijk, who rose highest to power home a brilliant header. It was a momentary relief, but it did not hide the massive gaps in their offensive play. Shortly after, a moment of individual brilliance from Crescencio Somerville doubled their lead and seemed to put the game to bed. The electric winger cut inside with his signature speed and whipped an absolute rocket into the far corner. It was the kind of goal that makes you jump out of your seat, a pure flash of genius. But instead of killing the game off, the Dutch began to retreat into their own defensive shell. That is when Ronald Koeman made a series of baffling defensive substitutions that almost ruined their entire World Cup campaign before it even started. Up 2-1 late in the match, Koeman panicked, took off his attacking threats, and invited an immense amount of Japanese pressure. Japan sensed the fear, pushed forward with everything they had, and snatched a dramatic equalizing goal in the dying minutes. The final whistle blew at 2-2, leaving the players slumped on the pitch in absolute frustration. Suddenly, the second group game against Sweden became a must-win fixture with immense pressure resting on Koeman's shoulders. Sweden was entering the match riding an unbelievable wave of confidence after destroying Tunisia in their opening game. In fact, that match was such an embarrassment for the Tunisians that they actually sacked their manager immediately after the final whistle. The Dutch knew they were facing a confident, highly physical side that was ready to exploit any tactical weakness. But instead of repeating his previous mistakes, Koeman completely changed his tactical blueprint for the Swedish showdown. In the match against Japan, the Dutch had started with Daniel Malen up front and Somerville on the wing. Malen is a fantastic player, but he constantly wants to run in behind the defensive line, leaving the midfield with no central target to pass to. Against Sweden, Koeman dropped Malen to the bench and unleashed the absolute powerhouse that is Brian Brobbey. Starting Brian Brobbey was the ultimate game-changer because he offers a completely different dimension to this Dutch attack. Brobbey is built like a heavyweight boxer, possessing the unique ability to play with his back to goal while holding off massive central defenders. He does not mind the physical battle, and he excels at dropping deep to link up the play before charging into the penalty box. His presence allowed the creative wingers to play with complete freedom, knowing they had a reliable focal point. This tactical shift paid off almost instantly, resulting in two beautiful goals that looked almost completely identical. The first goal came from brilliant hold-up play by Brobbey, who controlled a difficult ball, linked up with the midfield, and made a powerful run. When the cross came in from the left wing, Brobbey used his immense physical strength to hold off his marker and guide the ball home. The stadium erupted as the Dutch finally saw the benefits of playing with a true target man. Just minutes later, the exact same routine played out to double their advantage against a shell-shocked Swedish defense. Once again, Brobbey timed his run to perfection, getting across his defender to meet a beautiful whipped cross. His finish was clinical, proving to everyone watching that he is much more than just a physical presence. By introducing Brobbey into the starting lineup, Koeman had solved the massive goal-scoring dilemma that had plagued the team for months. While Brobbey was busy bullying the central defenders, Cody Gakpo was putting on an absolute masterclass on the left wing. It is an unwritten law of international football that as soon as Gakpo puts on that iconic orange jersey, he transforms into prime Cristiano Ronaldo. Every single defender in the Premier League knows exactly what Gakpo wants to do when he gets the ball on the left. Yet, the Swedish defenders let him cut inside on his right foot over and over again. Gakpo punished their lack of preparation by scoring 2 stunning goals of his own to completely kill off the match. His first goal was all about anticipation, finding himself in the perfect position in the box to convert a loose ball. But his second goal was a work of art, a trademark curling effort that left the goalkeeper completely motionless. It does not matter what kind of form Gakpo shows at Liverpool because his national team performance is always world-class. To make matters even worse for Sweden, Koeman decided to bring Crescencio Somerville off the bench in the second half. Somerville has been one of the most exciting young talents in English football, helping Leeds United earn promotion before making a move to West Ham. Even though West Ham struggled heavily last season, Somerville's individual quality has never been in doubt. This World Cup is the perfect stage for him to show elite clubs around Europe that he belongs at the absolute highest level. When Somerville stepped onto the pitch, he brought an incredible amount of energy and flair that the tired defenders simply could not handle. He is incredibly agile, remarkably nimble in tight spaces, and possesses a devastating change of pace. He got his reward late in the game, dancing through the defense to score a brilliant 5th goal. It was the perfect exclamation point on a performance that completely silenced all the doubters who questioned their attack. While the attackers will grab all the headlines, the real reason this Dutch team is so terrifying is the world-class spine of their squad. If you look closely at their midfield and defense, they have the quality to go toe-to-toe with any nation on earth. Many fans love to talk about the star-studded midfields of Spain, Portugal, or England, but the Dutch are right there with them. The balance they have in the center of the pitch is a tactical dream. At the heart of this midfield is the incredible double pivot, consisting of Ryan Gravenberch and Frenkie de Jong. Both players are incredibly press-resistant, allowing them to escape tight situations and dictate the entire tempo of the match. Operating just ahead of them is Tijjani Reinders, who is fresh off a massive €55 million transfer to Manchester City. While de Jong can occasionally switch off defensively, Reinders has an incredible engine that allows him to cover ground and score crucial goals. Moving back to the defensive line, the Netherlands possess an unbelievable amount of recovery speed and defensive stability. At left back, Mickey van de Ven is a giant center back who possesses the raw sprinting speed of an elite winger. On the opposite flank, the Dutch have the powerhouse Denzel Dumfries, who recently secured a dream transfer to Real Madrid. Having Van de Ven locking down the left side and Dumfries dominating the right means the opposition is forced to play through a heavily congested midfield. At the heart of the defense stands the captain, Virgil van Dijk, a player whose legendary status should never be questioned. It seems like many casual football fans wanted to write him off after one difficult season with Liverpool. But people quickly forget that he had to carry an entire defense while his teammates were struggling with injuries and poor form. One tough campaign does not erase the fact that Van Dijk has been the most dominant defender on earth for over half a decade. Partnering Van Dijk is the rising star Jan-Paul van Hecke, who has just completed a massive £52 million transfer to Tottenham Hotspur. Van Hecke was absolutely brilliant for Brighton, winning their Player of the Season award and showing incredible maturity. He is a modern, ball-playing defender who is brave in possession and loves a physical battle. He even showed his warrior spirit by playing through a brutal black eye he suffered against Japan. With a squad this talented, the only major obstacle standing between the Netherlands and the World Cup trophy is history itself. The Dutch are historically known as the greatest football nation to never win the World Cup, losing 3 heartbreaking finals in the past. From 1974 to 2010, they have always fallen just short, creating a lingering feeling that the national team might actually be cursed. Yet, if you look at the statistics, this team is incredibly difficult to beat in tournament football when they are focused. The journey ahead is going to be incredibly difficult, and they will face much tougher defensive structures than Sweden's. But with a defense anchored by Van Dijk and Van Hecke, and a midfield run by de Jong and Gravenberch, they are built for the big stage. Can this incredibly unique generation finally break the curse and bring the World Cup home? Or will they become just another tragic chapter in Dutch football history? Only time will tell, but one thing is absolutely certain. This team is not normal.